Hey guys, it's Jeff, and today we are talking a little bit more about iOS 13. In our previous video, we actually talked a little bit about the new features and changes that were coming within iOS 13, and today we're actually talking about the full list of supported devices for iOS 13. So let's go ahead and take a look at what will be supported or not supported in iOS 13. Okay, so let's just jump right in here. There's not too much to kind of finagle about. We just need to get to those lists. So let's talk about first the devices that will totally not receive support for iOS 13, and these are basically a for sure deal. So we'll have the list on screen here. We obviously have the iPhone 5S, iPad mini 2, iPad mini 3, and the iPad Air. So those devices will totally not be supported whatsoever because they're just too old, and iOS 13 will require too much processing power, too much graphics power to basically run on these devices, and it's just not possible. So let's move on to the next list, and these are actually devices that are kind of 50-50. We don't know if these devices will be supported or not, and here it is. We have the iPhone 6, the iPhone 6 Plus, the iPad Air 2, the iPad mini 4, and the iPod Touch 6th generation. And of course, I want to see the 7th generation. Hopefully that would include iOS 13 support, but the 6th generation will not. So those devices are kind of If you guys, have a device that is on that list, you might want to think about upgrading because, iOS 13 will not be supported. That is if you want iOS 13. Okay, so now onto the list of totally supported devices, and that will include the iPhone SE and the iPhone 6S and higher. So if you have any devices above the iPhone SE or 6S, those devices will work. Now, for those of you who are kind of on the unknown list, or maybe you're on the list where your device will totally not be supported in iOS 13, here are some reasonings why your device may not be supported. The first reason is speed and performance. Apple does not really want to release an updated operating system to run on an older device that will essentially slow it down and make it, the experience of iOS just really poor. So if your device is kind of older, on the older side, like the iPhone 5S, you wouldn't really want iOS 13 running on that device. iOS 12 did speed up a little bit, but in the kind of later versions like iOS 12.1, 12.2, and now iOS 12.3 betas, the iPhone 5S has actually significantly slowed down to the point where it's just not really usable on a day-to-day basis. So that is one reason why your device may not be supported, simply because speed and performance would be absolute trash and you would not want that. Now, the next reason is actually a very important one, and that is one that Apple has kind of referred to in the past, and that is battery life. So in iOS 11, there was that huge scandal where, people's battery life was just not doing well at all, and Apple was accused of slowing down basically speed and performance to get better battery life on specific devices. Well, that turned out to be true, and Apple really was just trying to preserve battery life. But they kind of removed that feature because they didn't want any lawsuits, and now there's an option to kind of toggle whether you want better battery life or better speed and performance. Well, Apple is likely not going to go ahead and do that in the future. They're probably just going to cut the support for older devices just a little bit sooner. So battery life is a huge issue now. On the iPhone 5S here that I'm running iOS 12 on, battery life is actually not that great. It's the original battery, so there's that. But I don't want to be spending any more money on replacing the battery for a much older device. So guys, if you have an older device, battery life may not be that great if you were to get iOS 13. So it's kind of time to think about upgrading. So guys, that was the latest report on iOS 13, basically talking about the supported devices and then the unsupported devices. If you are one who really wants iOS 13 on your device and you just cannot wait and you are on the unsupported device list, you may want to think about upgrading your iDevice to get support for iOS 13. Now, if you guys have any comments or questions or anything like that, please comment those down below and I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. So guys, thank you for watching this video of iOS 13. If you want to get any updated content about iOS, Apple, or any other tech-related products, make sure to go ahead and get subscribed and also hit the bell button to get updates as soon as that content is released. Again, thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you in our next video. Peace.